Welcome to Rants Without Pants, which you can watch on shophead.blogspot.com, bloggingblue.com, and dane101.com. My name is Adam Shabelles. You may know me from the Madison, Milwaukee power pop band The Shabelles, with a new album coming out, and I'm recording vocals. South America between the Andes, the Atlantic, Argentina, oh Argentina! And I just don't have time to sit down behind the desk, pantsless, to talk to y'all, so I'm gonna talk to you while I'm driving. It's very safe. Also, I'm still pantsless. You're just gonna have to trust me on that one. Later in the show, I have a fly up, fly down segment where we discuss various issues. But first, my interview with postal worker Perry Frank. Okay, so we're here with Perry Frank, who is a postal worker. And then you were just saying you were also involved in something else.
I am a branch officer. I'm a trustee for the branch.
Okay.
Basically, we audit the books biannually. So that's why I actually just did that today.
Okay.
My day off. Yeah, so
that's no good.
Career status has been a little under 10 years.
Okay.
Non-career, with everything rolled in, it's been about 13.
Why is this an occupation you really wanted to get into?
What I like about it is pretty much, besides the couple hours that you're in the office starting in the morning as a carrier, you are pretty much on your own. I mean, you pretty much self-manage, even though we have managers that manage, we're on our own.
Okay.
And then we do other things. I mean, we deal with the public, we handle problems in the field. So, it's like, can I get a change of address form? Do you have stamps? Do you, or whatever, like a million questions. Plus, we get to know some of the people on the route, and we do things like they call it, it's called Carrier Alert. It's a national program that actually our national union has. And basically, so we're on the street, and we know that, let's say you're 85 years old, and Adam Shabelles hasn't gotten his mail in 4 days, but he gets it every day normally. Right? So maybe we started calling the Popo and saying, hey, we haven't seen Mr. Shabelles, and he usually gets his mail every day, and he's 85 years old. I know he walks with a cane or whatever. Mm-hmm. And these stories don't hit the papers a lot, but sometimes what ends up happening is the cops do a safety check or whatever, and they find these people lying on the floor, and they've been there for days, and they're still alive. So it's called Carrier Alert. It's a program we have. Plus, there's a lot of, obviously where everyone's, they ask directions. You know where so-and-so is, you know how to get to this street. We do that. Mm-hmm. We know where all the dogs are. It's not a joke.
I know it is.
All my dogs.
The reason why I wanted to interview you was because there has been a lot of developments, within the kind of the postal worker community. Some having to do with cuts, some having to do with eliminating Saturdays. But why don't you discuss just the cuts and kind of what your experience has been?
Since 1970, that's when the Wildcat strike happened, we got our collective bargaining rights.
Right.
Prior to that, it was called collective begging. We had to go to Congress for any sort of raise, which there was like a 25-year period where we got no raises.
Okay.
And there was, in 1969-70, there were letter carriers in New York City that were working 40 hours a week and still eligible for food stamps. That's how little the pay was at the time. Back in 2006, prior to the lame duck session of Congress, we were actually at an all-time high for mail, believe it or not. Even with...
When was this?
2006.
Wow.
Even with e-commerce, we've had email since 1980?
Yeah.
The public misconception is, everyone's going email.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, but it's not as damaging as everybody thinks it is. Mm-hmm. No. That being said, so 2006, Postmaster Jack Potter agrees that we should have some kind of, something has to change, right? Okay, well, we agree with that. Losing a little revenue, let's get on some firm financial footing. Those are his words. We need to get on firm financial footing. Okay, so the 2006 Postal Enhancement Act was written by both Congress, or the Senate and the House. They passed it unanimously. Potter was ecstatic. Great, we're on firm financial footing. Yay, yay, yay.
Right.
Then everything tanked. Okay. Now what I mean by that is the required pre-fund retirees' health benefits for the next 75 years out. So these are people that aren't born yet. In a 10-year or 15-year window. So we have a 5.5 or $5.7 billion payout every, I think, September. That's the reason. That's pretty much 80% of the reason why we're in fiscal trouble right now. The other part of that same law is that it tied our hands to CPI. We let's say if our gas price goes up 1 cent, we can't raise rates to balance it out. That's another misnomer as well. We are not a business. We're a service of the federal government, but we are self-sufficient since 1971. People are going, oh, you take all this money from the taxpayers. Well, we don't. We take the money from the Frankie mail, which is what your Congress people send you responses in, or what have you. So if you get a letter from Tanny Baldwin or Polkan or Ron Johnson or whoever, that's all they pay for.
I burned the Ron Johnson. Are you the only federal program that is self-sufficient like that? That doesn't. I'm trying to think if there are any that.
No, we're pretty much it. In fact, even though we have this huge, deficit, we're like 17.5 billion in the hole this year. Our fiscal year one, quarter one just came out. Our operating, we had a surplus of $110 million.
Wow.
So even though that's, in the scheme of things, nothing.
Right.
Now, the issue becomes, well, operations has a surplus, but we're still not keeping flow with what we need to keep flow with. We're not breaking even like we're supposed to. That was my second point. We're not a business in the respect we have to make a profit. We only have to break even. We have to break even.
Right.
So that's the misnomer. We need a new business model. You guys are antiquated. Well, we're not antiquated. We have the best last mile delivery infrastructure in the world. I mean, we subsidize FedEx and UPS.
So let me ask about this eliminating Saturdays. Here's how it affects me.
Right.
I don't get my Netflix on Saturday.
Okay.
That's a major problem for me.
And it's a major problem for the owner of Netflix as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
I would think it would be.
Yeah.
But which would hurt the economy.
Exactly. Well, it hurts not only Netflix's business, it hurts us because we signed an agreement with him to deliver his discs. Yeah, and it doesn't look good for us because the Postal Service is telling the public we can't deliver for you on Saturday. Postmaster General Donahoe, his concept is, under it's a bill they sign every year in Congress. It has nothing to do with 6-day delivery, but the 6-day delivery clause is in it. Anyway, they sign every year, and they're re-signing it this year on the 31st of March.
Okay.
I think it is. And there's a clause in there that says we will maintain 6-day delivery standards as we have since 1981 or something like that. Donahoe's lawyers, according to Service DVDs, and his figuring is this. He's saying if he keeps the post offices open on Saturdays and he keeps transportation and processing open on Saturdays, and we do parcel delivery on Saturdays,
right.
We're still maintaining the 6-day universal service guarantee. Our national union lawyers and Congress people are saying, nah, you can't do that.
Because what about people that are in rural areas that the post office is...
If the Postmaster General gets away with this, it's going to harm the rural areas the most.
Oh, I would think so.
And it's going to hurt, that's a lot of the red states. It's going to hurt those people because instead of in Madison, let's say we privatize. Let's say post office goes away today. We're done. What will happen is FedEx picks up some of the deliveries maybe. They say they take 40%. Let's say UPS takes, 35%. Let's say they leave us with the rest. They cherry pick the best stuff and they leave us with the stuff that doesn't make any money in the city.
Yeah.
The rural areas are going to get something like this. Well, Adam Shabelles lives in, we'll say Pound, Wisconsin or something like that.
Right.
Well, we only have one letter from him this week. Well, we're not going to bring it up there until he has at least 10 letters. So your daily delivery is going to stop. And that's going to harm you, especially if you're a vet who's maybe waiting for medication from the VA.
Yeah.
Or, a lot of these, I don't know if people even get hard checks anymore from tax returns. A lot of them are going to e-file, that's true. But if you're waiting on a parcel, if they don't have enough parcels for you, they're not going to, you might have paid for 2-day delivery. It could be 4 days, 5 days out if they don't have enough for you. And they do it now. UPS does it now. So I've heard.
They don't, but people choose not to e-file. People choose not to pay their bills online.
True, that is also
People
true.
choose to use postcards when they're vacationing.
Absolutely. Absolutely true.
That's what I think is really sad. There's no reason they really needed to eliminate Saturdays unless they really wanted the what is it, the Postmaster General? Is that how it's, unless he wanted to at some point in time privatize. Or no? I mean, what's the point of it?
Okay, my take on this push right now, Congress has pretty much handcuffed the Postal Service into paying this $5.5 billion every year for this pre-fund. You know, you brought up privatization. Now, Postmaster General answers to a Board of Governors. One of the Board of Governors, his name is, I think it's James Miller III. He was somehow under the Reagan cabinet. I'm not sure if he was just an appointment to the cabinet or if he was actually in the Postal Service while Reagan was in office. He wrote a thesis, I've heard, about how to privatize the post office. James, that was back then. So he's now the head of the Board of Governors, which is basically like, you know, your CEO and the board of directors at a business. So, as I said, I don't like to speculate, but it's possible that that's what the postmaster is doing. But to touch on Saturday delivery, and one last thing, it's not a done deal. Postmaster General can't just, he thinks he can. I don't think he can. Congress has to.
Right. All right, Perry. Thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having a cup of coffee here at Mother Fools.
You bet.
And we'll talk to you later, all right?
We'll keep it local, right?
We'll keep it local.
Keep it local.
All right. All right. Thanks to Perry. This is our fly up, fly down segment. Fly up is good. Fly down is bad. Fly down to actor James Cromwell, who's known as the farmer from Babe, the corrupt cop in LA Confidential, and now crazy PETA protester that barged into the UW Board of Regents demanding the ending of torturing cats.
Regents are looking the other way while UW-Madison lies to the public about abusing cats and squandering taxpayers' money on cruel and wasteful experiments.
Look at the photographs. This is what the university never wanted you to see.
I will never understand why liberals find these aggressive tactics effective. To me, they just look crazy and only hurt the cause. I understand that it might feel good for yourself to go in there and barge in there and tell them they're wrong. But really, truthfully, you just come out as a nut.
If people see this and say, oh, that's really horrible, you can do something about this.
Police arrested the activist and vegan.
Perhaps it would have been better if you would have just sat down like that and talked to the local news camera. You didn't have to get arrested. That's silly to me.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Fly up to Oak Creek police officer Brian Murphy, who not only was mentioned by the president in the State of the Union address.
When a gunman opened fire on a Sikh temple in Wisconsin, Brian was the first to arrive, and he did not consider his own safety. He fought back until help arrived, even as he lay bleeding from 12 bullet wounds. And when asked how he did that, Brian said, "That's just the way we're made. That's just the way we're made."
His message was actually saved till the end, till the big finale. I think that's special.
After the speech, Murphy met President Obama.
He said, I just want to let you know I saved you to the end because I wanted your message to get to people. And I was just shocked, and I was like, well, thank you.
Now, Brian Murphy is... Wow! Get out! Get out of here! I'm not hurting any cats, all right? Jeez. Anyways, it's nice to see the lieutenant get some love on a national stage. After all, Brian Murphy is the closest thing Wisconsin has to a superhero, so give that guy a cape already, someone. Because he's freaking Batman. a big frickin' fly down to Scott Walker for turning down federal money for the Medicaid Expansion program that would have added 10,000 jobs to Wisconsin. It is ridiculous that he turned this down, and it is completely political, because there's no reason for it at all. This is the type of stuff that really pisses me off. When politicians put their own ideology ahead of what's best for Wisconsin, because not only will it'll help the poor, it will also help economy. It would give Wisconsin a huge economic boom. Oh, it pisses me off. That pisses me off. It's shocking to me that he denied this. The federal money is there, and that's something everyone should know. It is already there. It is Obamacare money. So the other thing to know is that this is, right now we pay 60%, where the federal government pays 40% of Medicaid. This expansion would have been completely 100% federal money. We wouldn't have paid anything. So why he turned that down, I will never know. Well, actually, I do know. It's because of his freaking ideological views. I shouldn't even say that. That makes it sound like he has convictions, which he doesn't have. The point is, Walker just costs state taxpayers more money, not less, by turning that down. And there's been studies on this, and it has been proven. This is a straight up sabotage of Obamacare. He is trying to not have Obamacare work. He is trying to sabotage it. Everyone needs to understand that Obamacare is happening, and you should really just embrace it and try to make it work. Like, what if Obamacare works? Isn't that a great thing? Everyone worries about the money, but the CBO predicts Obamacare to actually save trillions of dollars in the long run. So why not fucking try to make it work? Fucking pisses me off. Fly down to liberals that are making fun of Marco Rubio's nervous drink of water. Look, he was nervous. He had a drink of water. It looked kind of funny, no doubt, but it makes liberals look petty. So instead, why don't you focus on talking about the inaccurate statements he made and kind of how it was a boilerplate response saying nothing new. For instance, he stated that you have to get rid of your own insurance when Obamacare is implemented. Not true, not at all. He also said that the recession was because government was too big. That one I literally laughed so hard I spilled, just milk came out of my mouth. Weirdly, I wasn't drinking milk. So don't criticize Rubio for his drink of water. Instead, call him out that his pants are on fire. Cromwell! Get out of here! Hey, Cromwell, look! There's a beach whale over there. A big, huge fly down to the state's majority leader, Scott Fitzgerald, for supporting a forced transvaginal probe bill for women who are thinking about having an abortion. It would be required without the woman's consent. They would force a probe up her hoo-ha. Hey, Scott Fitzgerald. Hey, how would you like it if I take this Diet Mountain Dew can and shove it up your And honestly, this is where you have to really, you Republicans out there, have to really take a look at your own party right now, because the extremists are taking over. Extreme! I don't understand how you can vote for a party that fucking votes for this type of shit. I will never understand that. I don't understand it. So let's tally this up. Since Scott Walker became governor, we dropped to 42nd out of 50 states in job creation, which is god-awful. We are turning down federal money that would add 10,000 jobs to Wisconsin and could be really, truly a huge economic boom. Our education system in this state is all going to hell. Republicans took away unions so they can't fight for higher pay, which essentially would bring your pay up if you're a non-union worker. Republicans cheated to redraw lines to benefit their own party, and they are making efforts to suppress the minority vote. And to top it all off, our state Republican majority leader wants to...
New numbers show more people in Wisconsin are finding new homes out of state.
I wonder why that is. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I should get back to concentrating on the roads. But just like always, God bless you, God bless Wisconsin, and God bless these United States of America. Thank you.